Rome started by two brothers, Romulus and Remus, who were raised by wolves. They get into a fight. Romulus kills Remus, so not a great start, but it's a start. They're ruled by a king for a bit, but the last king is such a tyrant that the nobles kick him out and say no more kings, we're a republic now.
Now Rome kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the question you might be asking is, how did Rome get so big? Well, they kept getting into fights with their neighbors and winning, and then they took all their neighbors' stuff. They had an incredible army, and even more importantly, an incredible logistical capacity. They get into 3 massive wars with Carthage, this rich trading empire across the sea that started out as a city-state.
The cathedral general Hannibal almost destroys them, brings an elephant over the Alps, but Rome just grinds him down. They finally burn Carthage to the ground. Problem solved. So now Rome owns the entire Mediterranean, but this causes huge problems back home. The generals get crazy powerful and rich. This leads to a bunch of civil wars. Enter Julius Caesar. Massive celebrity general, conquested Gaul, writes a book about it. The Senate gets scared of his power and fame, and they order him to disband his army. Caesar says, "Fuck you, Senate," and crosses the Republic River with his troops, which is a big no-no. This starts another civil war, which he wins. He makes himself dictator for life. The old-school senators aren't having it. They pull a sneaky move and stab him to death on the floor of the Senate, thinking they're saving the Republic. But it backfires. Caesar's adopted son Octavian teams up with Caesar's right-hand man, Mark Antony, to hunt down the assassins. After they win, they turn on each other. Octavian defeats Antony and his Egyptian girlfriend Cleopatra. The Senate, tired of all the fighting, is like, just take the crown, Octavian. He's smart. He doesn't call himself king. He calls himself Augustus, the first emperor. He keeps all the old republic offices around, but he holds the real power. The republic, it's dead. Long live the great empire. For about 200 years, Rome is now on top of the world. Peace, roads, Aquilas, the works, everything. They have a run of a few good emperors in a row, but then it gets messy. Emperors start getting assassinated by their own guards. The army keeps declaring random generals as emperor. The empire gets so big it's impossible to defend, so they split into an eastern and western half. The western half starts to fall apart. Constant invasions by Germanic tribes. The economy's in the toilet. They're literally paying off the invaders with gold and land to just leave them alone. The city of Rome itself gets sacked not once but a few times. Finally, in 476 AD, a Germanic general named Obscur decides the whole emperor thing is pointless. He doesn't even bother to assassinate the last kid emperor, Romulus Augulus. He just deposes him, sends the imperial religion to the Eastern Emperor in Constantinople and says, "We good?" ? And that was it. The Western Roman Empire just fizzles out. The Eastern, though, kept going as the Byzantine Empire for another 1,000 years, but in the West, it's over. Except for that one time.